Hey there. I'm sorry for a shorter episode this week of the Deadlands. Things got a little bit hectic in real life. Took a little break in the middle to do an important errand and to stay healthy. As an aside, the last episode, you might notice where we skipped episode 9. There's a lot of housekeeping, a lot of details and stuff that YouTube does not allow because of its copyright rules, which is fine. It wasn't anything too important outside of the return of an old player named Verm. Do enjoy this episode though, and have a good day. Let us begin our cowboy adventure, as I think we're called cowboys.
I think we are.
Would one of you? I mean, the recap for last week was pretty much you guys did a whole bunch of housekeeping with numbers, magic, and secretary. A lot of talking
And napalm strikes.
and planned
Not
napalm
yet.
strikes. It's on the list of things to do. But you guys got yourselves ready, prepared for an expedition, collected a whole bunch of mini adventures, and even charted a path forward. To which I am going to ask: when you depart from Kotoris, taking with you, enough rations for the entirety of the journey, and therein, and water and supplies. What? You guys are taking a wagon, right? Like for all of this stuff. I presumed so. I just want to clarify and make sure that you guys are, in fact, taking such
Yeah,
things.
right?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing we are.
Riding on a wagon. Fantastic. What's is there any final things you guys want to do in Kotoris before you depart, at all? For your
Load foundry. 1 second.
okay, take your time.
Taking me like 5 years to get this thing to fucking load for me.
Is the saddle ready for the bullet?
Yes.
Alright, then I'll bring the boy too.
Bring the boy. Have you named him?
I have. Let me find the name, because it's hard as shit to... I can't fucking remember it. Oh my god, why is it so high up? I put it in another Discord server that I use for, like, note-taking and shit. Unfortunately, it's buried by dice rolls.
Understandable.
Oh lord.
Here we go. Alright. Alright. Alright, here it is. Alright. Fucking his name, or
Yeah, his name.
their name is Coolicanet.
Could you post it for me?
Yes,
So can copy
I
and
did.
paste it? Thank you.
Because I insist on making
Crawl.
those long ass names
His name is Crawl
for
now.
the naming conventions.
Gotta keep up with the tradition, you know?
Yeah, I gotta
You should
be
now
consistent.
Yeah.
have access to controlling Crawl. You should see him. Oh, before I forget, Cleve, you wanted,
Yes, a third sheet.
you wanted a horse, right, for your mount?
You did this to yourself.
Cleve? Cleve, are you muted?
Huh?
Did you want a war horse for your mount?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that was to me.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure I have everything set up.
Shit, did they add that to my sheet? Yes, I did, okay. I completely forgot about that.
And if so, what did you want to name your horse?
You're gonna have to come back to me on that one in like 2-3 minutes.
Okay, and take your time with it. So you're getting the Bulette mount, getting the horses for the wagon, or are you hooking the wagon to the Bulette? What's the plan
That
there?
probably isn't a good idea. Because of the whole digging.
Damn, caught on to me. All right, regular horses it is then. Yeah. Any final prep or anything before you genuinely depart on your adventure again?
Nothing I can think of.
Yeah, no. I think we're all set.
Okay. The follow-up question is which angle on the path are you taking? Are you beginning on the left? Are you beginning on the right and going down this way?
I think right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think right.
This path right here. Okie dokie. Oh, right. I'm gonna need a couple D100 checks, and because it is charted, you don't need to make survival checks, because you guys have explored this area pretty thoroughly. Boy. Oh boy.
Mm.
73. Ooh.
How many more?
One more. $35 ain't bad. Let me go look at some charts for one moment. All right. Okay. So you begin your journey out into the Deadlands proper, enjoying the kind of last moments in the warm and comfortable kind of living conditions of Kotoras comparatively to this region, this desert, which is way more dangerous, as you guys are all very deeply familiar with. And as you kind of venture forth on familiar trodden paths, it's kind of like those cowboy movies where they go at the end and it's like into the sunset and they're just like going off into the distance. That's what it kind of looks like as you depart. And as you make your way down the dusty paths and the kind of old would-be road that you first left earlier when you were going on your original trip through the valley, you find that there's kind of an uneasy air about everything. As the hooves of your horses and Bulettes and different various mounts kind of clack on the very faint path, there's this kind of feeling of being watched. Not in the traditional kind of like eerie sense, but like it feels like over your shoulder almost.
Mm.
And as you begin your journey, that's how it feels as you leave. It's not long, a couple hours into the trip before your first, well, incident happens with a creature on the road. As you're kind of pulling up past the dead flowers and the kind of tumbleweeds in the heat, you see there seems to be a kind of figure in the horizon, like a person, like a humanoid figure on the horizon of the path that seems to be dramatically walking towards you. And you kind of just blink a couple times and it fades.
Hmm.
Do we all see this?
Yeah, you would all see this for those staring out onto the road.
I need to
Uh,
turn the up. 'Cause
Not a big fan of
Better?
that.
Is this
I
better?
think Verm is gonna cast Mage Armor himself. Choose real quick.
Is this
Alright,
better?
sorry. What exactly are we seeing
Oh,
here?
on the
Let's try to
horizon there
input.
seems to be a form, kind of like a humanoid outlier that is like super shadowy because it's on the same kind of path with which the sun is following. So it's like you see a shadowy outset and then you blink a couple times and it vanishes.
Hmm. This doesn't seem at all similar to the shape we saw when we were in the fucking cave hiding in the from the storm.
You can roll me a history check.
Because we all know I'm great at those.
Oh boy.
Did him with that -1. 11.
With an 11, your understandings of storms and the people who kind of preempt them and the things that preempt them is pretty. You've lived here for a long time, for all your life, so you know some of the things. And it's not uncommon for people to have said they see things on the horizon or visions of other creatures or places, but generally that's when people are suffering from heat stroke. So it might not be something so entirely kind of like, oh, it's just harmless. It could be a spirit. It could be a preemptor to something dangerous. From your instincts, it's not hostile outright, but it might be a prelude to something that is hostile.
Portal from Verm's necromancy books that he's read.
Mm-hmm.
Does like seeing the spirit ring any bells?
You can roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Portal and PMing you what I want to summon.
Oh boy.
12.
With a 12, you kind of like squint at the outlying figure, trying to see if it reminds you of anything. Fuck you, Cleve. Is that the name too? Horse? Named by horse. Oh dear God, no. It gets worse. All right.
Absolutely nothing, no mechanical or anything like that. It's normal fucking stat block.
Okay, I'll accept it. This cursed shit that you've brought upon my land, my territory. Okay.
I'm not doing it
Alright.
right now, but that's what I'm rocking with.
Okay, that's the plan. Noted. Verm, with that 12, you know of phantoms and spirits like that are like haunting territories or regions. And this doesn't seem quite like one, but it has an etherealness that reminds you of them.
Okay. How are we? Like, we're traveling on a wagon, right?
Yeah.
Are we all on the wagon?
Some of you are in various, various individual mounts. Like the father is on his horse.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that Luk'k is on his Bulette with Rrhak waddling beside. But the rest of you can ride real easy, real quiet. Enjoy the time and stuff.
So, is Handy riding the wagon? Like,
Yeah.
actually,
Mhm.
controlling the horses?
It would be either Handy or you.
Yeah. Verm's not. Verm's, yeah. Uh, I'll probably, after, realizing that, I'll, like, pop up besides Handy. And I'll say to him, Handy!
What?
Did you see the ghost?
Wait, that wasn't a hallucination?
No, that's a ghost. I read about it. Look, and I'll start, trying to find the page. I'll try just looking for the ghost entry
Yeah.
to show Handy.
The father just kind of goes, I don't know if ghost is the most accurate word, but it ain't uncommon out here, to be honest. Usually as a, sign, I suppose, an omen of things to come. Usually not positive, but not necessarily malicious in its own right.
Are you sure it's not a ghost, Father? I read a lot about them. I'm pretty sure it's a ghost.
I'm not saying it couldn't be. I'm just saying the likelihood is, lesser than that of it being some sort of spirit or premonition almost that the wastes make you see.
So, is it friendly?
It's best to assume that nothing out here is friendly until proven otherwise. Not to say you gotta shoot it first, but just be careful.
Alright. I'll just... You know what? I think I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna read a little bit more. I think I read it while I was taking a shit or something, so I don't remember quite well. So I'll get back to you on that, okay? And he'll pop back down and start looking at his book.
Debating whether or not to pass off the mount that I've been using and summon my boy.
Oh boy. Boy indeed. That he is.
You can summon a boy?
I can summon a boy.
Oh, damn.
Does anybody not have a mount right now?
I mean, they're on
we
the
have some
wagon.
horses on the wagon and then...
Yeah, Verm's just riding the wagon.
Verm and Handy are riding the wagon,
Okay, well,
with Handy driving it.
they just kind of connect the hook the reins to like the edge of the wagon, so it's kind of just walking along with the wagon. And the father just kind of goes, "Here, give me just a couple minutes, real quick."
Oh dear God. All right. You kind of pull off the side, stopping the march, and you begin casting your spell off to the side of the road. And as you're focusing on that, the rest of you notice a kind of flicker on the horizon. And then there's this fog that starts rolling in very slowly. And it's just very kind of chilling for a moment. And then, again, like the first phantom you saw, you blink a couple times and you rub your eyes. And you're not quite sure if that fog on the horizon is real or just your eyes and some dust playing tricks on you. And then the spell finishes and completes, and a horse starts to form, kind of almost out of the reflection of the light. And the way it arrives is kind of like you take a knee, Father Hawkins, and you just kind of look up, and you hear the clop, clop, clop kind of over the horizon of like a horse's arrival. It's just kind of like forming from both light, dust, and sand on the path. And this beast, this majestic little fellow, looks like a normal horse as it's starting to form. Its lower body, its legs, and then it gets to its neck and it diverges in two parts, and you get a two-headed horse that arrives and kind of just and then just kind of gallops up to you, looking at you with
the father just
well, it looks at you with two eyes, one from each head.
Jesus.
Wow.
Huh.
Oh my. Father just kind of blinks for a second and kind of goes, "Not quite what I was expecting, but pleasure to meet you there, fella." And it's just gonna kind of like reach out and just kind of like gently kind of like stroke the back of the like the neck of both of them. I guess with both hands he does it.
One of them seems to enjoy it. The other one kind of just looks at you disdainfully.
Yeah, no, the father's just gonna kind of, we'll sort this out later here. And he's just gonna go ahead and hop on. And he just kind of pats the side of the one that seemed to enjoy it, and then the other one just kind of goes, well, let's get on with it, I suppose. We'll, shit, this is weird. And, yeah, no, he's just going to kind of, like, try and feel this out, because this is something that he just kind of had an
inclination.
Yeah, a bit of an inkling to try and do, and is kind of lost on this whole, like subject matter of, like, essentially summoning things. Yeah, no, he's just gonna kind of reach out with the that feeling of the spirit that he follows, and is just gonna try and kind of like reach out towards this creature.
It seems to resonate with you on a kind of like spiritual level, which is kind of disturbing, really, because the way it kind of tilts one of its heads, and like its hooves, the way they hit the ground, and the way it moves, it feels like feels strange, like you understand it on a level that perhaps you have never understood another animal, and then one of the heads just kind of turns slightly and goes like very very strangely, like it's about to sneeze, and then it does. It goes and it makes this, you know, that like that meme of the horse sneeze face screenshotted.
God, yes.
And it's like you're like, oh, this is the majestic creature which understands me on the metaphysical level. Fantastic. But they're loyal, or it's loyal. Yeah, and it kind of just
that's a
pulls
plus.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, the father's just gonna kind of nudge it forward and just gonna kind of like think to himself, just kind of like, all right, well, suppose you need a name. You got a name, fella?
Mm. Two. And that's the two
That's-
responses. A sneeze.
Was that it sneezing or it's saying it has two
no,
names?
it was going. One of the heads was like shaking its head and like neighing softly, and the other one just fucking sneezed again.
God fucking damn it.
But it does not
Double
seem to
checking.
have a name,
Double checking something real fast.
and unfortunately did not come with a name tag.
Does the horse look like, apart from that it has two fucking heads, does it look like a regular horse?
Yeah, from like every other angle of it, it seems to be a normal horse, and then it has two heads, and you're just like, what the fuck is, what? Why does it have two heads?
It's been so long since I just probably gotta make sure. Okay, yeah. There's no. It's fine greater steed that has telepathy, right?
Mm-hmm. No, they're both telepathic, so you can communicate with it
Oh shit,
telepathically.
yeah. Okay.
The difference with Fine Greater Steed is this would be a two-headed, like, fucking griffin or some shit.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if that was strictly for fine greater steed. Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, he just kind of like pats one of them and kind of goes, "All right, well, if you ain't got names already, then yeah, let's see, you'll be Balius, and you're Xanthus."
You see Xanthus kind of looks at Balius offended. And Balius looks smug as fuck. Anyway, back on the road. So you guys just watch Father Emery just kind of pose dramatically for like about-ish 10 minutes, like on a knee
Just
in a prayer.
T-pose.
Just on a knee in a prayer, and then this two-headed fucking weird-ass horse comes up. He just lets him mount him, and then and now he rides back up to the group. And still on the horizon, you can feel that encroaching fog.
Yeah, now not distracted by the horse, the father's gonna go, "Oh, yeah, like I said, omen of things to come. That's probably not great. Y'all want to find shelter or something? Rather not be traveling through that."
Alright. What time of day is it?
It is like mid-afternoon, like 1 to 2 in the afternoon.
Alright. I guess it can't hurt to find something.
All right.
If that's the case, then you roll me a survival check.
Alrighty.
I'll help.
Poggers, let's go. Oh, I fucking double pressed. It's fine. It's double 13s.
Advantage didn't matter here. As you're kind of looking around for a nice spot to like hide away from this encroaching fog, you see there's another kind of dip over the little plains and hills and dunes that are here, and you've been here before, so you kind of get a general estimate that you guys are like 10-15 minutes from full speed riding from a nice little outcropping that you've rested at before.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if the father will kind of like lead the way up. I'm gonna kind of keep a close eye out on this. So how close is this fog at the moment?
It seems to stay on the horizon even as you approach, like just out of vision, just out of
Okay.
But it doesn't. There's a point where it stops kind of flickering so much, and it seems to be in the valley.
Okay. And where's this rock outcropping that we're out on the map? Exactly?
It would be a little bit to the right. It would be closer to here, where you guys have rested before.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yeah, the father's just gonna kind of go. Well, we're pretty close to the valley. I mean, rested here before. Maybe best just to clear out this little bit of shelter, make sure we're safe, and then maybe stash the wagon and horse for now and check this on foot. See if there's anything amiss, and then we can retrieve him and then continue on our way if nothing's
Alright.
nothing wild's going on.
All right. The change in music is perfectly timed. As you kind of arrive at your old encampment, kind of putting yourselves together and preparing, look here. You can see and sense the kind of unease that both Kroll and Rock seem to be experiencing. They don't seem very content with whatever is nearby. And it seems to be like it's that kind of like animal instinct that something strange or dangerous is afoot, and they don't like it.
Can I get a vibe from either of them if they know what's up, or?
Yeah. You can give me an animal handling to try to get a read on what exactly their why it might be upsetting them such.
Not great.
Yeah, with a 14, you get a vibe that they are very clearly attuned to maybe a sense that you aren't so keenly in tune with. Something about what they might smell or hear is tickling those kind of self-defense instincts that make someone uneasy. It's that kind of like anticipation and like the concern for your own safety that makes people feel afraid. Just like, oh no, a bad thing will happen to me. It's that sort of instinct, but because they're animals, it's a lot finer tuned on them, where it's just like
Right.
they know ahead of time that trouble is coming, and it's like it is something that seems to be instilling a sense of almost dread into the animals, except the father's horse, which doesn't seem to understand or even be slightly disturbed.
Not even a fucking real animal. That's how it is.
Not traditionally, no.
Yeah.
You said the fog is like pretty close to the camp, or is it like getting closer?
Until you guys approach here and almost arrive at the valley, that's when it starts getting a little bit thicker and closer. Because for the most part, it was staying on that horizon, but now it's like you can see it in the valley when you like kind of peer over. It looks like it's foggy, like a deep mist.
Okay. So yeah, so we're not. I mean, I was about to ask if we were like 10 feet from the.
No,
edge
no,
of the
you're
fog or
much
something.
farther.
We're pretty far. Okay.
You're a good walk.
Got it. This is the valley we're approaching is where
The
you
first
said.
correct.
Okay.
For some of the party, they have already been here and experienced the strangeness at the mines and the undead that once infested this place. But now something new seems to have rolled in.
This wasn't here before, was it?
No, it was not. Very notably
Yeah,
not.
that's
It was definitely a new thing.
not cool.
Okay. Yeah, the father's just gonna kind of. Does he notice the reaction of the other like creatures versus?
Yeah,
his?
you would definitely notice after a little bit, especially because Luck seems to be soothing them to try to get an understanding of it.
All right, father's just gonna kind of like kind of gently pat both necks again. The other one can pretend it doesn't like it. Doesn't matter to him.
Sticks
and-
its tongue out at you.
Yeah, Xanthus. All right. Look, nothing odd to you guys here. Just totally normal road trip, huh? You used to this kind of thing?
Apart from the creepy fog that seems death, yeah, it's pretty normal.
The father is absolutely talking to his horses right now, but I love the fact, like the idea that. Yeah, no, he just kind of like turns like, oh, sorry, yeah, you too. Yeah, no, fog's kind of weird. Just trying to get a sense for, well, if these two were put off by it either. I don't know. I mean, it. You know how
Wait.
like
Your horse that you totally made yourself with magic can talk?
I don't
Both
know, man.
both
I mean,
both the horse heads turn and look at you very menacingly. Verm.
I mean, I don't know if the talking is much of a thing. I do that all the time to my horses.
Wait, your horses can talk too? What am I only now finding out that horses
No.
can talk?
No, you talk to horses, not the other way around. They're fucking horses.
But what's the point of talking to them if you don't talk back?
I don't know.
it's more
You learned something.
implied little emotions behind your words. You'd be surprised. Actions can kind of be implied through your words as well. So you know, sometimes creatures respond to that kind of thing.
Can you do the same to rats?
Probably.
Maybe.
All right.
They're smaller, but if you look out for the right things, then maybe.
Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Yes. Alrighty.
Yeah. The father's not getting any kind of weird vibes off
Nope. None of this in.
these creatures. They don't
Yeah.
seem perturbed.
They're vibing. They're chilling. They're not afraid.
The father just kind of goes, look, I mean, we can go as a group here, or we can scout things out a bit. I don't know what y'all want to
Yeah, it
do,
never
but
hurts.
all right. In that case, I'll go on foot. Anybody else want to come with?
Yeah, I'll keep close.
I'll come along.
Oh, I completely
Got
forgot
the
to mention. You
matrix
guys
on
brought
where I
Locast
am.
along, right?
Yep, Locust.
Yeah, the Locust has been napping. He was exhausted probably after. There was definitely a chaotic incident in the town, and he's just been napping in the back of the wagon just the whole time. And then he goes, "Meh, adventure, adventure. Where are we?
We're in the desert.
Fantastic.
There's a unnatural fog rolling through the valley out there. We're trying to figure out what's causing it. Who
I-
knows?
I
Might be a
ca-
fight.
Ooh. I don't know. I've never punched fog before.
I don't know if it's the fog itself or something else that's causing the fog, but
Ooh, menacing.
well, I mean,
it.
out here,
If it's the
chances there
fog.
being something to punch is pretty high.
Yeah.
If the fog itself is the problem, we'll probably have a harder time dealing with it.
Alrighty. So, are you bringing the whole crew into the valley?
I think that seems the consensus.
Cool.
Father is going to be sneaking though, kind of along the ridge line, if
You can roll me.
possible.
You can roll me stealth.
And before we as we're getting close to the fog, I'm gonna cast magic aura
So
on
close to-
myself to appear like an undead.
Ooh.
I cast Wall of Text. There it is.
Yeah. That's a classic one.
Hell of a spell.
Yeah.
Well, no text.
This way I'm
Alright.
basically an undead.
Let me get some music going. 1 second. Where is it? Where's my music? Where's my super suit? Where is it? Where did I put you? There it is. And I'll pause our cowboy music for now.
Oh.
For a moment, there's another track begins. Another track is fitting. As you step into the fog in your own variety of ways, kind of like sneaking in, just walking straight up. Luk'k, for example, just kind of hustles in excitedly. You all kind of see the fog thicken for a moment, and you're all kind of not necessarily whisked away, but it feels like your sense of direction has been greatly distorted. And for some of you, you find yourselves in the center of what looks like a field of beautiful, opulent flowers, and like there's growing orchards of trees that you have never seen before, and it's wood. It's like proper trees from like the mainland, like those very rare resources.
That's weird.
It's very strange, but the thing that is most harrowing is not the fact that is something that you see, but rather the person set in the center of it all, the fog kind of emanating off them menacingly. It is a warrior dressed in the traditional robes and armor of the mainland, of the people from the clans. What armor isn't quite clear, as it seems to have been scratched out with time, and there's this kind of faint, ominous green glow around them, and their hat is tilted down, obfuscating their face, and you see two kind of blades at their side, and they're sat in this ring of flowers, sipping a cup of tea, or at least some sort of drink. And the Phantom kind of looks at you as you all enter through your variety of ways, almost supernaturally aware of your presence, and it kind of says, travelers. And it stands, not maliciously, but like it finishes its drink, drops the cup, which seems to fade into mist, and it looks at you all, one hand on the hilt of its blades, and the other pulling its hat down at you in sort of a pseudo greeting.
Howdy.
Yeah, what would you guys like to say? Actually, that might be the perfect place to call a little break, because I gotta get stuff ready to make sure you're set to go. So prepare your greetings for your fantastical, strange friend with nothing menacing at all going on.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing bad ever happened to the Rising Heights crew. All right, be back in a short bit. All right, Rice Krispie has been devoured. The break has been completed. And now we dramatically return to the interactions with a strange phantom in a field of what you guys now know to be lilies and other brilliant flowers. Kind of like sakura petals falling down around. And he has greeted you with a kind of hat tilt. And some of you responded with a hello. Anyone else wanted to say anything in particular in how they greet the phantom?
Go ahead.
The father is just going to kind of give a bit of a nod, in tip of the hat kind of thing in return to his gesture, and is just going to kind of go, well, not quite what I was expecting to run into out on the road, but well, pleasure to make your acquaintance.
An acquaintance. Is that what they call it now?
Just kind of shrugs and goes, yeah, something like that. Seems like you were waiting for something or someone.
All things come and pass and go. I suppose you could call it waiting.
Might I inquire as to your business out here? What are you up to?
I myself am not up to anything in particular. I only recently awoke from my slumber. The rest has been interesting, to say the least, though would-be bandits and petty thieves and other sorts seem inclined to presume I'm some sort of foul creature.
Yeah,
Nothing of
well,
the sort.
chalk it up to fear of the unknown, I suppose. Dangerous parts out here, so I can't say I particularly blame them, considering just about everything else is trying to kill them out here.
I suppose. Travelers, you came seeking something here, did you not? For such is the nature of a journey.
I mean,
well, no reason being coy about it. That we did. Well, it was reports of well, trouble on the road, and well, simply came to try and figure out what that trouble may entail.
Hmm. I have been here a short while, and I have seen no trouble outside of that which has found itself uh, attracted towards me, to say.
Portal, can you remind me what did Ewan say exactly was the road problem?
He said that people there were bandit attacks and something else going on that was delaying the journeys, and that people were not coming out entirely well from the path that they walked. Like they had run into something, and entire caravan, parts of the caravan, just didn't come back. Essentially.
Okay.
And because it's a main road, they had to take off roads, which is delaying everything, which is why they set me.
Everything.
It's more, I think, a convenience and safety than anything.
Yeah, I mean, the father will just kind of be like, well, we received reports of banditry and some other such delays along this road, and well, we're hoping to deal with the issue. Any chance you could point us in the right direction?
Hmm.
Or have you already dealt with the issue?
The bandits that have entered here have chosen their own fates, much like you will choose your own as well.
That's ominous. Care to elaborate?
They assaulted. Out of fear, perhaps out of indignation, they fell, like so many others. And there's a bit of
Nice.
somberness in the way he tilts his hat when he says that.
Well, no offense to you, but I mean, like I said, I understand the well, the fear, I suppose, of the unknown. But look, I mean, you haven't caused us any trouble as of yet, and we're just trying to make sure folks can well, make the journey and the passage a bit safer. You
Yes.
planning on staying here, or you looking to travel somewhere else?
I do not believe I can journey much farther than here. And you see him kind of like sniff. You smell familiar. And he says that to you kind of like as a group for the most part. He doesn't seem to be mentioning Verm or the horses or the Bulettes in that, but it's like specifically the father, Luk'k, and Handy, he says that to you.
Well, we've been through these parts before. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
No. That's not it. And you can hear him take a deep breath. I go, yes, that makes more sense. And he just kind of mutters to himself, seemingly aware of something that he doesn't seem too eager or intent to share. And he kind of just like looks at you all as like, so you came simply to solve that problem which has marred your people, yes?
that is correct.
How to solve this little dilemma? Do you have an intended solution in mind?
Well, it's kind of hard to come up with a solution when you don't, well, fully know what the root cause of the issue is. So,
Right. If it is my, and he motions to kind of like the foggy visions and realm around him that you believe to be a distortion and delay for your people, an arrangement could be made. Though you'd have to prove a reason to do such things. And his eyes kind of glimmer when he says that.
well, can't deny that most travelers coming to town would probably avoid the road if they saw such an embankment of fog and whatnot. Most not inclined to test their luck, as it were. What did you have in mind as far as, well, Look, I'll be honest. You seem with like the capable type, and well, I mean, you said you dealt with the bandits already, so if it's some sort of test of strength or anything of the sort, I suppose we could at least hear out your deal, as it were.
I will ask you a question individually. Seem fair enough?
And what's the catch?
Your answers mean quite more than you might think. Tell me, what do you think of roses?
Has the father ever seen a rose before?
Nope.
The fuck's a rose?
Yeah.
I've actually read about roses once. They're nice. They're pretty. The book I read said that if you give them to someone that is your friend, then they will like you.
If they're your friend, don't they already like you?
I mean, yeah.
In the back, Locust goes, "No fight."
No fight.
No. The Phantom seems to take your answers in stride for a moment, I guess. Perhaps I was too specific. What do you think of... And he kind of like scratches his chin like, how do I explain roses to these people? And then you see kind of the field of flowers start to transition to this kind of wilting white rose in these fields and like the orchards. And they seem to like wither for a moment as he's thinking, and he goes, "No, I've got nothing. I suppose that will do for now. Those that you intend to send through this path, tell them." And he kind of like reaches down, pulls out one of the kind of misty white wilting roses, and like dramatically tosses it towards you to wear one of these, or you'll figure it out. I quite like roses. I miss when they used to grow. The fields were much prettier in the old days. More serene.
Not to say that can't be the case again.
If only. And the Phantom kind of like crosses his leg and sits, and he doesn't seem any outwardly malicious as he's like remanifesting a cup of tea and just sipping it in his spot. And he goes, "Oh, you can leave." And he motions to like behind him to just keep walking.
So he tosses the
The
rose.
white rose, yes.
Yeah. The father kind of has like, I guess, has that, kind of looks it over and goes, if you don't mind me asking, I'm not entirely certain many of these exist out south here.
Plant it in a pot, water it every day. It'll grow.
Yeah, what
Right.
was it to ask for some seeds?
He says it with a sort of certainty. You can feel there's magic in this rose. It's very clearly
Yeah,
not
okay.
a normal thing.
Okay.
And I'll add that to the side quest if you'd like. Plant roses. Side quests. Where to put it?
All right. Yeah, the father just kind of nods and goes, well, we're gonna go grab our steeds and our wagon, and we'll be on our way. Appreciate your time, and like if you ever need anything in return from us, as far as keeping this road safe and everything goes, well, let us know.
It is not this place that needs sanctity. And he just kind of like tilts his hat again and he goes, "Safe travels to you." And like you see the fog doesn't lighten up so much as it dismisses, and you find yourself at the entrance again, like it's kind of guided you there, like pushed you out, essentially shunted you out. And you feel as you like are out, you feel a sense of melancholy coming from this flower, that is like a loss of a loved one almost, or perhaps a loss of something more deep than just a person, but rather an idea or something that was very dear, that was kind of in the same vein with that person. Like when you lose someone, that feeling like when you lose someone and then a thing that you used to do with them is gone, and that every time you think about them, you think about that. That's what the feeling this rose kind of gives you as you kind of look at it.
Yeah, the father's gonna go ahead and hand it over to Handy. Be like, look, I'm not a foremost subject matter expert on anything of this kind of sort. Get any particular vibes off this?
Arcana check?
Yeah, you may. Cool. You do have advantage for clarity, so, and I'll explain why in just a moment.
Alright.
Not bad. With a 16, you can't. You think, and it's like, where have I seen? Like, it's something in your brain goes, I've seen something like this before, and then you go back a couple of months ago. On the other side of this mountain, there's a field of flowers that evoked a similar emotion of grief and loss, and it's starting to kind of like in Handy's head. These are very similar objects in their kind of design, but there's like where the other was a grave. This seems more like a memorial, or at least this flower feels like it. Its magic is not in a traditional school of it, but rather a magic of emotion, and like it is so charged with a spirit's power that it is magical. And what it does, you can't quite parse, but holding on to it, you still feel those kind of weird, inhuman feelings of grief that you're just like, that's not weird. That's not me. That's weird. I'm a robot. That's not. I don't cry. Or at least not in the traditional sense. And that's what you kind of get with that Arcana check. Is like, there's definitely something off about this flower, but you can't, like, it's not malicious. It's just somber, like the other flowers on the other side of this mountain.
It's sort of like the flowers at that grave. Carries some of the feelings of the spirit.
Huh. Well, not entirely sure how to feel about that one, but well, if it allows them safe passage through the area, then I suppose that's what counts.
Alrighty. Grabbing your things. You moving back through the fog again?
Yeah,
Probably before we leave.
Yep.
I think Verm kind of hangs back a little bit, and like looks at the guy's just like sipping tea on, like sitting
No,
cross like on the floor.
he shunted you out of that realm, of that foggy thing. He's gone, and it's like you guys
Oh,
out
okay,
in
he's
the
gone.
desert again.
Okay. Like looking at him when we were talking, looking at him closer and hearing him speak and such. Has Berm read anything
You
about
can roll me a
like?
history check. Yeah,
Okay.
about people like him.
Yeah. Ignore the advantage, please. I don't know why I rolled it like that. Still pretty shitty.
At 10.
So that's a 10.
Alright, with a 10, you know there are stories of the Deadland that you have read, specifically about ghosts being a very prominent thing. Like, everyone and their mother has, like, a story about someone they knew meeting a ghost or having an interaction with a ghost of some kind. Usually they mean spirits, but sometimes, like divine spirits is generally what people mean when they say those things, like, ooh, the spirit has taken me. But sometimes it's literal phantoms, ghosts of different people who have lived their lives, died, and perhaps not gotten proper rest still. And stuff like this. And that's the thought process that kind of, you personally haven't read about any stories about guys that look like this. I mean, maybe once or twice about wandering samurai or whatever, but like there's something about them that leads you more to think about this is someone who is a ghost, absolutely, who has left their life when they died with a lot of loose ends that has kept them here, or at least something has reawoken that binding that kept him here if he was asleep before.
Something has reawoken him. Okay. Okay, got it. And you said that for our people to pass, they just have to have a
Mhm.
white rose with them.
That's what he told you.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
All right. And when you grab your things and you step into the fog with the rose, there is kind of like a weird tingling feeling, and then you're on the other side of the valley, almost instantly, which is like a good 30-minute walk that has just been cut off here and there with like all of the dangers and usual troubles. It's like you've been shunted to the other side.
Oh, we need to go back and get our horses.
No, I said after. Yeah, that was
Yeah, we
after
did,
you
Oh,
got
we
your stuff.
okay.
Yeah, with all of your things. It kind of just a weird, strange feeling of you just step in the fog for a couple seconds, you walk, you feel tingly, and then you walk, and then you're on the other side of the valley. And the mist is still there, ever present, kind of like vibing, chilling. Doesn't seem to be spreading any further.
Hmm,
Maybe get
okay.
rid of that.
I mean, if we, assuming we grow the roses and give them to folks,
To the
those
people. Yeah.
pass through.
I mean, we can't give it to everybody that passes through, especially if they don't stop by a tourist first, because they won't know that this is here.
No, but if we send them in like shipments to wherever we're trading with and whatnot, they'll spread.
Or you can plant them right outside. Who knows? All
Yeah,
sorts
but this
of options.
isn't right outside is the issue.
No, I meant
we
like,
need to-
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. There's a lot of ways
This
you guys
isn't
can handle it.
exactly ideal growth for a flower either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the middle of a desert that's prone to firestorms.
You'd be surprised, but it's not me who has the rose. It's you guys. So
I mean, yeah, it's a magic rose. I think we need to. I mean, when we eventually make our way back to Katoris, figure out how to grow these things.
is there
But
anything?
I mean,
else?
I don't know.
We should, yeah, we should
Anything else
definitely
you
figure out how to grow them, and then I guess an ideal location for it as well.
My question is there anything else you'd like to do in specifically the valley because you've gone through it or around it and the fog is still there? Anything of that sort before we continue on.
If we've got like road stuff figured out, then
As far as you're aware, that might be the road problem, but
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can keep like kind of like scouting around the areas because he did mention bandits, and you mentioned that any that came to him were dealt with, but that doesn't mean all of them are dealt with, I guess.
hmm yeah. If you guys,
Yeah, we could look for that.
if you guys are gonna be looking for bandits, I need a survival check, please, and thank you.
She-
Ooh.
Not
boy.
great.
Oh boy. Hey, with okay, 1 second. All right, with that, you guys kind of on the other side take a moment, get your bearings, and as you see, like the path you could take to the stones and all that sort of stuff, you notice up, down, south this way, there seems to be a kind of series of smaller markers put into the sandy, like into the sand, such that it's just like slightly notable. They're like little flags almost.
Oh
Um,
shit! I will be right back.
No worries.
What I made is called.
No worries, but they definitely weren't there before.
I guess we check those out then.
Yeah, just markings on the sand.
They're like little flag posts almost, kind of little things put into the ground. Very hard.
And-
They're not very easy to see because they're like slightly hidden behind rocks and stuff. But it's like marking a path essentially.
Okay, yeah, that was my next question. I guess we follow them, right?
You could.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Okie dokie. As you kind of start walking. Oh wait, clues to AFK. One moment. Yeah. Okay. As you start walking down the path, kind of like following these trails, um, there is there's this kind of unease again, like you're being watched. But where in the first time it felt like it was omnipresent, this one feels like there is someone here, in like nearby or whatever, that is watching, and it's an instinct because you guys are hardened like fighters or survivors of your own various traumas that you feel like that something doesn't feel right about this, and it's just kind of that feeling of being watched as you're traversing and following this path marked out by bandits. Until you kind of come to a small outcropping where it looks like it leads down into a village proper of some kind, like small little. It's more like teepees and tents than it is actual housing. Like we're talking like stone housing, right? No, that it feels like nomadic almost.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about
It's all good. You got the feeling of being watched by someone present, and little flags led to seeing what looks like a bandit outpost with teepees, huts, and like tents that are very clearly temporary.
that. Okay.
I'm gonna
And
check out if there's. I definitely get the feeling like there's something on the ridge line.
and the evening is
Right.
fast approaching. It would be like here-ish where you guys get to.
Can I check that? Can I check that? If there's anything watching us from
You can roll me a perception.
like up high or somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Get a little looky-loo as well, specifically towards those, you said they're like teepee huts or whatever?
Yeah, they don't seem to be very active at the moment, but it feels like they're here because people live here, or at least have been, for a short while. Okay, Doki, we'll begin with the teepees. As you kind of look over, you can see there's not activities of movement, but signs of it, like it was recent, like this morning or whatever. Like there are trails of dust, and that look like they've been recently moved. And there's kind of like a smell of it still in the air, even if the fires don't burn anymore. And you can kind of like looking around, you see a fire pit that is very clearly freshly, like released like earlier today, having been put out.
Okay.
Like from out here, you don't quite catch where they might have like storage supplies or anything of the sorts, but at the very least, they're not in camp right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
And for you, Luk'k, what you catch a glimpse of as you're looking on the ridgeline, kind of almost like a hawk, keeping an eye on and trusting your instincts, you kind of just turn and you look, and you come to like make eye contact with what looks like some sort of large creature. It has very reptilian features, like from its face, and you can't tell if it's humanoid or if it's a monster because it's just at the edge of the ridge, and it kind of ducks down as you have arrived.
I'll let the others know that there's something up there. Lizard person. Oh no.
Father just kind of furrows his brow and just, Alright, well... This could be what we're looking for, I suppose. Heading up, I guess?
We're going back for the reptile thing.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay.
You want
Oh,
to
boy.
check this place out first, or just go straight up?
So, sorry, what exactly is here where we're at? I missed-
Down below is the teepees in the hut, and on the ridge line, like over the cliff, and the
Oh,
mountains is where
sorry,
he
okay, I thought
spotted the
those were
lizard.
kind of
the
up there. Okay, okay. Yeah, no, we can check this area out first, and then...
And the little village looks empty, right?
Mm-hmm. At least at the moment.
And like, does it seem from where we are that if there was people like down there, like they would spot us right away, or are we like kind of hidden from view?
You are just barely out of sight, but you have a feeling if there was people here, they would have called out.
They would have noticed. Okay.
I mean, I can, if someone wants to, I can turn someone invisible. Just so we can do stuff, check something out. I don't know.
I feel like that.
Uh,
I feel
I
like that won't
mean,
really be necessary. I don't think there's anyone here anymore.
maybe once we head up that ridge line to go check out whatever the hell is up there, but I don't know. Let's just give this a general look over real quick and then plan a little bit more for if there's something up on that ridge line.
All right. Sounds fair to me.
All right. So going into the town, kind of like, or the little encampment, more accurately. As you're kind of stepping down into it, you can see kind of layered throughout the teepees are various crates of different makes and sizes. They look like they've been not so recently looted, but they look like the scavenges of bandits, and a couple of raids for sure. Though it doesn't seem like there's any sentries here at the moment, which kind of like alerts your instinct to something else instead, which is a strange smell coming from kind of one of the tents that is closed off.
Hmm. Okay. Father's gonna go ahead and post up. Just wherever you can get a kind of clear line of sight on this. And just kind of be at the ready. He's gonna let somebody else crack it open though if they want to.
Does Verm recognize the smell?
It smells like death and decay, yeah.
Death and decay, hell yeah.
Oh boy.
I think yeah, Verm's gonna check it out.
Cool.
You said it's inside a tent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll can I is there like can I see like any light from inside the tent, like if there had
It
a
doesn't-
lamp or a...
It doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
Cool.
And it's just a regular tent.
Mm-hmm. And in the traditional, like more northern fashion, where it's like actual regular tents rather than these kind of elaborate TV. It looks like a variety of cultures have mixed in with these bandits, or at least different types of people with different preferences.
Okay. Can I like go around the back of the tent
Mm-hmm.
and like crouch low to the ground and like with one of my little claws like make just the slightest hole in the tent, like just
And peek in. Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
like peek in.
As you do, and you peek in, you see what for Verm probably isn't too gross, but for others might be pretty gruesome sight. It looks like somebody has been bisected, like split in two, and their guts are on the ground. It smells fresh in some capacity, like it has to be something that happened today. And you
Okay.
can see little maggots crawling around on the corpse.
Does it look like something like ripped it apart like with strength, or was it like
Peeking in
swords
from
or
the
something?
hole, you'd have to get closer to the body to examine more clearly. It doesn't look like a clean cut, but that doesn't mean it wasn't. It's because it's a messy ordeal.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep like opening up the tent with my claw
Mhm.
until I have like enough space to like
Oh yeah,
get a little bit into the tent.
yeah, for sure. You kind of duck in, boom, and
Once it goes in, the father, I'd like to watch our surroundings.
all right, you can roll me a perception. Where you
Just on the off chance that whatever the fuck is murked the people in his tents is still like vibing out there or something.
Handy, you were gonna say something?
Andy's gonna be doing the same.
Cool. You can also roll me a perception. Cool. Noted. All right, Handy, you kind of look on the horizon, and that feeling of being watched is still there, ever present. A little bit quieter, less pronounced, but it's still, you can feel like it wasn't only that creature on the ridgeline watching you. And then with the 23 Emery, you kind of like turn and you look, and you're keeping your eyes peeled. Your instincts, kind of, you're trusting in them and your senses and your eyes, like listening, hearing, smelling. And as you kind of like turn away from the tent for a moment, you see kind of like bits of a trail laying out on the ground that were harder to spot from a distance when you guys weren't in the encampment. That looks like it leads not over the ridgeline, but rather into the wastes. And as you kind of like follow that trail into the slowly setting dark with the stars lighting the path and the moon just reflecting, you see what looks like the outline of a wolf that has just continues moving down off into the distance. It's like a flicker almost of seeing its tail, its head, and then gone.
You know, I can use my the scope on Bandits to see if I can get a better better picture of this thing.
Yeah, sure. Let me go get its art real quick.
Why?
Oh no. If it has heart.
If it has arts, it might have stats. If it has stats,
Yeah.
it might be something we have to fight. Doesn't that blow? Doesn't that blow? Where is it? Where the fuck's gonna put it? Ah, here it is. This one's gonna be a for context, it's fucking token like name that is saved as wolf_mystery.
Mystery.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like we're gonna be seeing some fucking Scooby Doo?
Maybe. Someone
Like a
got murdered.
hyper realistic werewolf Scooby Doo.
That would actually be hilarious. Let me
Absolutely nutty.
get this loaded in. Make sure this is saved properly. Perfect, perfect. That's the wrong folder of things. There it is. Oh, it fucking saved. Oh my god, I hate it. It doesn't like my fucking strange formatting on the fucking naming of the file. One moment.
Tech issues.
Always tech
Hell
issues.
yeah. Always tech
It's,
issues.
it's not D&D without tech issues.
True, true, true.
There it is. Cool. Here you go, Mr. Ewan.
Oh boy.
Oh
Mr.
boy.
Hawkins. I was just looking at Ewan's art, which is right next to his, funnily enough, in my folder.
Mystery indeed.
It kind of moves off into the horizon. It doesn't seem like it was watching you with any malicious intent so much as in the way that a predator who's eating lunch watches more prey walk into a field, contemplates what it wants to do, and then decides, I'm full. I don't need these fucking rats.
How far away is it?
It's several hundred feet. Like, you can just catch its shadow on the ridgeline as it's moving, or on the, like, hills. Closer to, like, 300 feet. Are you gonna try to shoot him?
Are you just gonna quick scope this bitch?
He's unbelievably tempting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, okay, so last question. Does it seem, so you said there was a trail that it left,
Kind of
like leaving
okay.
this area?
Yeah.
Okay, and it seems like it was kind of watching us as it was fucking...
Nibbling.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I've got an 800-foot attack range with bad news, so...
Fucking snipe him.
It will be a disadvantage. It will be a disadvantage because it's 200 for base, but yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Roll to hit.
Well, so okay,
go.
I'm going to essentially. He just kind of fucking gets down into the dirt, Do I need a stealth roll to try and hide before I
No.
take the shot? Or
If you're trying to hide from it, yes.
yeah. I mean, I don't know whether. Well, doesn't matter. 16.
You are not hidden from it, but as
That's
far
fine.
as Emery is concerned,
Again, he's just kind of getting prone, posting up. And let me double check what I have real fast. This is going to be a acid round.
okay.
Oh my.
That's the ones that deal acid damage, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just double check it. Yeah, that misses.
Okay.
Shit.
So there's a kind of.
Ignore that.
So-
Did
yeah.
not mean to click that.
Yeah,
Just
it's
trying
fine.
to click the actual fucking.
Yeah, it's all good. There's this kind of boom sound that kind of reverberates for a moment, and you see like the bullet whirs past, closer and closer, and then the beast kind of just like, for a moment, seems to like its instincts kick in, and it just kind of ducks to the side, and it turns. Not yet. It turns and it kind of looks at you, in your general direction where the bullet has come from, and you see it ponders, like. You just took a pot shot at it, and it very clearly ponders the fact that that's a very long distant weapon. Maybe I should address it. And then you see almost like its ego takes hold for it for a moment. It just tilts its head, and then it sniffs, and then it continues walking, unimpressed, unfazed.
Fucking Rax bolt fucking shoots again.
Yeah.
But Berm just pops out of the tent like,
What's going on? I heard a shot. Father, are you okay?
Yep, just fine. Just well, trying to get used to this thing.
Target practice.
About 350 feet out there. Pretty sure whatever.
You see, it's very clearly walking. By the way, like it's not running from you. It's like almost tempting you to try to shoot it in his back again.
Yeah, he'll fucking do it if he wants to. Present the opportunity. He's gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. That connects. And you rack a shot, boom, and you see it kind of impacts the shoulder of the beast at a high velocity, and it doesn't tear through its flesh. It seems like boom, its body moves forward, it lurches forward, and it looks like, oh, did I get it good? And it just kind of like turns. You see it reach into its like shoulder, pull out the little bit of lead. You could see it grab the bullet in its wound, blows on it, flicks it, and you see that its flesh starts to bend itself, and it keeps walking.
All right, acid round not effective. Loads fire around.
Just ka-chunk, aiming. Yeah, you can fire again.
Pearl, did I get anything from the corpse?
If you would have liked to loot it, roll me an investigation. 20 hits.
No, I mean-
21 hits. Yeah.
I mean, like, not looting
Oh,
precisely.
yeah,
but
you
just,
need to
like,
roll me a
looking, like,
nature-
What the fuck?
Nature or medicine check.
Okay.
As you rack another bolt, fire, boom, the second bullet strikes it kind of lower back, and that one seems to sting a little bit more than the acid, but it's more like the acid didn't really affect it.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
nice.
I don't know why I'd roll with disadvantage, but yeah, natural 20.
I'll get to that in a second. And you kind of strike it with the fire, kind of grabs the little pellet, looks at it more annoyed, and it kind of just looks at you. You can just vaguely make out it giving you the bird, and then it gets down on all fours, and it actually starts moving.
Gets down on our fours and breaks into a sprint.
Not towards
Shia
you.
LaBeouf.
It's not towards you, just off into the horizon, trying to.
Oh, it's
you see it kind of
moving?
like skirt between the hills and start using cover. Very, very now poignantly aware that you're gonna keep taking shots at it with rounds that might actually hurt it. The wound seems to still recover. By the way, it just seems more annoyed now, kind of like
Okay,
mosquito bites. And you're
Yeah.
just like fuck these mosquitoes.
He's gonna fire off like probably once more. I will say I do ignore half and three quarters
Yeah.
cover. Oh, and actually I take that back. That's not for
It's only
for
within
long
30.
distance.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
only
yeah,
within
yeah,
30
it's only
feet.
within 30.
Soon he'll
cool.
take sharpshooter, and then it's always.
Do we want
Um,
to chase, or do we want to chase, or just leave it be?
the father goes 1 second and just pulls Bolt back, grabs another fucking thing from like the bandolier underneath his duster. He's loading a thunder round this
Oh
time.
boy.
And is going to take another fucking pot shot at.
Boom.
This one's almost certainly at disadvantage.
Yep.
So he's well out of range. Ooh, no,
You,
that's not gonna hit.
you fire, there's a boom, kind of thundering sound for a moment from it. And, like, you don't see the round connect, it kind of just off into the distance for a couple seconds. And in those instants of seconds, you hear a sound almost in response to the thundering explosion, like a hiss from the mountains. It's very loud, and it kind of echoes. You can roll me nature checks on that one, as the round kind of just impacts in the distance, just boom, and the creature seems to have actually fucking left. But for that natural 20 you got, Verm, as you're kind of like looking at the body and examining it, that it's very clear to you this is not a natural wound. Like it's not a natural weapon. It's very clearly like steel was used in some regard, but it still looks kind of feral, almost like a tri-tip of steel was dragged across it, or maybe the creature has metal claws or something like that. It's very clearly a show of force, and it's done in such a manner that makes you think whatever did this struck at him once, and then he was bisected like this. And then you kind of like sniff around, and you get a feeling as you're kind of digging around in the tent that there was more than one person in here at one point.
But there's only one corpse.
But there's only one corpse in here.
Okay. Okay, I'll grab a couple maggots and start eating them.
Yeah.
Keep the rest of them in my pocket or something.
With those nature checks that you guys made for the following screech, Father Army, you have heard similar beasts before. They're like a cry for different things, like sometimes some of the reptiles make really weird noises to each other, and it has different meanings depending on the time of day or what lizard it is. You can't quite parse what, but it's like it felt like something was trying to communicate with a thunderous sound. Verm, that sounds like some sort of very large like you've seen from where you are like monstrous lizards before, and that creature sounds like one doing either its battle cry or its roar. You can't quite tell. For Luk'k, you recognize the kind of like tone of the creature's cry out and the thunderous noise that follows. That is a mating cry.
Okay.
Huh.
And it seems to have been a response to the thunderous noise from the gun.
God damn it.
You're making the
know
lizard horny with your
I don't-
bullets, man.
Yeah, I don't know what you just shot out of that gun, but it's making the lizards horny.
The father gives like a very quizzical look. He's just like, I mean, I heard the response, but well, what the fuck? Okay, noted, I guess.
Remind me again what you put in that bullet.
Honestly, it was just a, well, it's, hard to explain, really. It's more of a, not what's in the bullet, but what's, on the bullet, I guess. It's,
The markings, the runic engravings, that sort
yeah.
of stuff. The little
the
details.
sigil is, well, it's something to make a, kind of thunderous, clap whenever it connects, and, well, disorient or shatter any kind of, hearing capabilities of whatever it impacts.
The clap of someone else's ass cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was it.
Whatever you did, the lizard was into it. So we're gonna have to deal with that pretty soon.
Yeah, or we could just keep moving, I suppose.
And it
If,
does look like the encampment is meant for more people than just those here, and it doesn't seem or smell like there's a slaughter, but rather a calculated attack. And it's kind of clicking like these were probably the guards left here to guard the loot and like chill, and they got fucking murked by that thing.
But the thing left the loot. Like the loot's still in the camp, right?
Yeah, the goods are
Okay.
still here, so it's very clear like it didn't come here for the loot. It came here to kill people and eat them.
Gotcha. Did the figure that I saw kind of match what Sharsana was describing would be in this area?
No, it does not. Not exactly. At least not from what you know of what she told you. But it's not unreasonable for things to be a little bit more complicated than they might first seem.
Right.
Or, it could be that. At the very least, it matched the monstrous description she gave you. Because as far as she knows, it's like some fucking crazy monsters out there. But it didn't look like anything that she had warned you about ahead of time. But that's nothing new, right? It's like the Deadlands come up with all sorts of fucking fucked up shit every couple days. New type of lizard shoots lasers out of its eyes.
The phantom dude that we ran into is not did not fit the description at all.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was very clearly a humanoid spirit.
Gotcha.
But there is a monster out here, and maybe that's it.
Okay. Who's calling me? Let's see here.
Hello. This is an urgent message for Ryan East from the Air Force.
Oh boy.
Holy shit!
You're not muted.
No, I'm aware.
Is it
going
one of those
on?
fucking ads?
No, that's the shitty fucking I guess mobile alert fucking thing that I get for base. I don't know. They just closed one of the fucking gates. I get a text message, but then they also fucking call my phone, which is really fucking annoying.
It's like
If
the
I don't-
gate has been
If I don't
closed.
pick it up, they just leave a fucking a voicemail, and it
The
drives
gate
me
has
fucking
been
insane 'cause
open.
I get
The
like
gate has
6
been
a day,
closed.
probably.
The gate has been
Oh,
opened.
shit.
The gate has been closed. The gate has been opened.
Literally.
The gate has
Literally.
been closed. And it's
Open the
just
gate
like,
a little bit.
I closed it a little bit. Someone pressed the button on accident. Now you get a phone call.
Yeah, it's obnoxious. to
That's
say the
funny as
least.
hell. All right. Yeah. And where would you guys like to go from here? It's very clear there's still more bandits about. The weird lizard in the mountains.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and try and pick up any kind of traces to where the rest of this group may have fled to.
Okay. You can roll me another survival check to track down their trail where they went.
I'll help out with that.
So we're not gonna go for the wolf?
No, the wolf went down south. The lizard is up north in the mountains.
Okay.
Cool. With those survival checks, the gang, you find that the trail kind of leads their encampment here, and they probably left this kind of angle down here onto this road somewhere on it. Isn't that what looks like the trail as you're following? But it's getting darker and darker, and you guys are gonna have to rest for the evening. Despite knowing all the kind of shortcuts and ways to best traverse this land, it still requires time and effort.
Yeah, well, go try and find a place that's ideal for spending the night, and then pick this up in the morning, I guess.
We are at a camp.
Yeah, that's also the fucking hunting grounds of that fuck off big wolf. Like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. We're literally in the middle of the Deadlands. We can't do much worse.
I mean, there's probably like small caves or something along the ridge line that we could try and find. I could do a quick look at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can give me. It would if you're examining the local area, perception. If it's digging through the camp, investigation.
Well, I'll look for that. If you guys want to dig through the camp, feel free.
We didn't look through the camp yet, did we?
Not
No,
not
we
in depthly, no.
Tragic. Really fucking rolled off the 16.
Just slip and slide on the 16.
I guess I can roll an invest for the camp.
I'll help you.
Okay. I was gonna say it was not gonna end well if
Oh.
It doesn't have a bonus, so you might want to just do it yourself. Oh, he rolled a 19. Look at
Or
him
he
go.
just rolls a 19. Yeah.
Look at him go. Look at that luck boy go. Okie dokie. Handy, what are you up to?
Andy is currently too unsure of what to do to actually do anything within this time.
That's okay. You know, I was just
I mean,
checking.
yeah, if I'd say if the father sees him, you just kind of like standing there in the camp, not kind of certain. He'll kind of just wave him over and go, "Hey, Andy, come on, come give me a hand. We'll see if we can't find a place to camp for the night."
Mhm.
Right.
All right.
Hmm.
Alrighty. As you kind of start looking through the camp, you find these crates are filled with various goods from gold, silver metals, to more accurately, the biggest resource that they seem to have stored is like dry food and resources that are kind of harder to obtain. There's a lot of the substance, the yilin they use, the yilin for building and construction. It looks like
Okay.
these have been raids on kind of like important supply caravans that they're taking and keeping everything that they can get their hands on. It doesn't. The way they have been raiding and organize it, it looks like their goal is to expand or at least settle down somewhere, and that's why they have these resources like these building tools, building supplies that they're kind of stockpiling. It's interesting and strange. It looks like anything of like direct value in terms for violence or rating seems to have been taken. You do find kind of like armor racks and like sword racks and like weapon racks that are clearly like they have been used, they've been cleaned recently. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's definitely like they have some loot in that regards, but they're using it.
Who's using it?
The bandits, like they have taken them off the racks or whatever. It's clear like they keep them
Oh,
stored
okay,
and
I
clean.
gotcha.
Mhm.
Well, we can take note of all this and just have somebody bring it back next time we get some tourists. But that probably won't be for a while.
It should be noted, as soon as guys got to camp, like, Locas is sitting in the center sniffing, like, sad because there's nothing to punch. Everything's already dead. Just like,
Not yet.
violence. Not
Give
yet.
it time.
Give me time.
As we're looking, as I'm helping look through the
Mhm.
camp, I'll just kind of at some point like point towards the tent where the corpse is, and say like, there's a corpse in that tent. If you want to eat it, or maybe your
I-
pet wants to eat it.
I don't.
It's not that rotten, so
I mean, honestly, he'd probably prefer a fresh kill rather than something that's been sitting out.
alright,
But
respect.
he's had worse.
Yeah, we've all had wars, right? Like I'm just saying, it's just free food.
Yeah, I guess. But I think I'm good without that though. You take what you want.
All right. Are you sure? Do you want me to
Yeah.
bring you like a finger or two?
No, I'm good.
All right. And he'll make his way to the tent and just start, just going at it for a little while, couple minutes.
Nom 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 nom. Snip snip snip. Nom 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 nom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give some to the crab in my coat.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Snap snap. Okie dokie.
And as I'm eating him, like I want to actually like look through his pockets or whatever.
Yeah, this guy had a couple of gold coins on him. It looks like a watch, which is pretty
Okay.
good, pretty useful. He has a kind of a little piece of paper that looks like it is a
Zed is a three-parter.
nope,
Finish.
shit. Why is that playing? YouTube is playing. Fucking, it's going on autoplay in the background. Gonna give me a heart attack. Yeah, there's a what looks like kind of crude drawing, and you kind of like open it, and it says, "Reminder to tell Jimmy, to tell Jamie, to eat shit and pay me my $5."
Okay.
In a paper reminder, and
What's a buck?
you don't know, but it's what's on the paper.
Huh. Alright.
Okay, yeah, I'll loot him. I'll take the watch. I'll take the paper. How many gold do you say he had?
I said he has a couple, like 3 or 4.
Okay.
4. Let me just check. 4 with the silver and stuff and all that stuff.
4 gold. Okay, great.
Pocket.
Yeah,
Pocket
I'll
change.
loot him.
Anything else you'd like to do inside?
Is the watch functional?
It looks like it's a little bit out of sync. Like as far as you would tell, like it looks like it hasn't been functional for a little bit, but it can definitely be easily repaired
Okay.
and resync to the time.
Is that something that I could try and do myself, or do I have to like
you
get
can
handy?
try.
Yeah, I want to try.
Yeah.
At some
Roll
point.
me an intelligence check.
Okay. Ooh, baby.
Yeah, you just kind of like open it up, tinker with it a little bit, grab a little thing. It looks like there's something got stuck inside of it. You pull it out, blow on it, stick it together, and it seems to be working, though the time is off just a little bit. But it takes you only a couple of moments to just kind of guesstimate the time, and then, boom, it's done.
All right. Yeah, I'll just bucket that and then, you know, go back to regroup with Luk'k at some point.
Cool. As Handy and the father are looking throughout the local area to find a place to rest, it's pretty easy, pretty quick to find a spot to just settle down outside of the reach of this camp, unfortunately closer to the ridges and like the mountains, to the monsters that are there, but it's out of sight from the camp and the would-be bandits.
Alrighty. Yeah. Father will just kind of come back then and kind of gather everybody once they're done searching through the camp and whatnot.
All right.
He just kind of comes back and goes, "Find anything interesting?"
Supplies we can send back, but beyond that, looks like everything else is taken.
I see. Alright, well, there's some halfway decent shelter just up the way. A little close to the ridge line, but could be worse.
Alright. Guess that's as good a place as any then.
All right, and you all move to set up camp, get ready, chill. And as you're kind of sat there resting, what's it look like? What do you guys do this evening as you're preparing to actually take a fucking rest?
Sorry, say that again.
As you set up camp, what's it look like? What are you guys doing before your long rest? And what's the watch order and stuff like that? If it's changed. at all.
Imagine that they kind of pull the wagon like in front of whatever entrance, kind of the shelter they've got, just to kind of like cover up the entrance. And I mean, Father will volunteer for first watch. He's just gonna kind of lay down like up on the roof of the wagon and just kind of post up to keep an eye out.
I don't mind whichever way.
All right. Berm, what are you up to?
I think Verm, after like helping setting up camp as much as he can, he'll just find like he'll just find like a comfortable like rock to like burrow under, to like, you know, you just chill. And I think like trying to. I mean, I'm guessing that I fixed the watch, but I mean, is it like
It's a little bit
super?
off. It's not entirely accurate, but you could fix it over time to tune it. But it was just a guesstimate.
Yeah, I think like trying to clean a little bit, like use prestidigitation to like make it shiny or whatever.
It looks to
And then
be
like
a strange kind of copper pocket watch.
okay, okay, yeah, and I think he'll like after cleaning it up, like on the backside of it, like he'll just grab a little rock and just like scrabble like a V on the backside of it. Uh, and then just spend like the rest, like couple of I don't know, half an hour or something, or whatever time he has, just reading his book, his necromancy book, for going to sleep.
Alrighty. And Handy, got anything new that you want to do before the long rest is or before you begin your long rest?
Let's see.
I can go get the cowboy music 1 second. I'm gonna do that. I completely forgot that this song was playing.
I think. Hmm. Andy's just gonna plant himself in a good place to watch.
Alright. Cool. Everybody, feel free to long rest. But note, kind of as you rest and the evening goes quiet, you can hear occasionally in the night, just one or two more times, another thunderous cry out
That bitch still hurting.
to no response. And then silence.
Damn. Kind of sad though.
Ain't
He
getting
thought-
nothing.
He thought he found a
Yeah.
waifu, but instead it's just the depression.
Instead, he found a gun.
Got left on red.
Yeah. Poor
Ghosted.
guy.
It's not a guy, it's a lizard, but okay.
Can't believe Father's gun ghosted the random lizard we found.
Long rest. Nice.
Okay. As the morning sun rises after your, mostly quiet, occasionally awkward evening, and your like warm fire dies out, having been hidden, you can hear like jaunting or like whooping and crying like yeah, and on like you can see on the horizon, kind of a couple of them are on horseback, most of them walking and dragging stuff. It seems like some bandits are returning to town with their victory lap in tow, their rewards and their wealth. And, well, soon to be a more somber mood.
This is in the morning, you said?
Early morning.
Early morning, okay.
Like the
Well,
sun
just
is
kinda-
riding. Like just
Imagine he's
rising.
probably kind of like sleeping kind of upright, just kind of like leaning against a wall, like sitting down, but like kind of leaned up against a wall or something like that, and just kind of jolts awake, and then just kind of immediately kind of grabs things and is like, "All right, we got to everybody up, time to move. Let's prepare a little welcoming party."
Yeah, how do we want to do this?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I was just kind of planning on hanging back a bit and just taking them out from a distance.
No plan A. That's not really my thing, though, so.
They're on their way back. They're not at the camp yet, though. Right?
Correct. Yeah, you can see them approaching.
Okay. How close are we? Would they get there before I got there if I were to like book it over there?
If you guys were to run, you could definitely get there. The thing is, they would see you because you would have to be open ramp, and that's like the as I've understood it, what you don't want to happen.
Yeah, no, I was thinking of setting something up, but in that case, I'm just gonna find a good position with kind of like an an overlook on the camp, at least a small height advantage to kind of look into the camp.
If you want to get the drop on him, I can go in with Kroll and hit him from underground.
I do like that idea.
Like, do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. Verm will say,
Can you take me with you?
You can probably fit, I think.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty small. I don't know. Just feed me whatever.
Yeah, and I'm pretty big.
Yeah, I can just like, you can just get me inside your coat or something. I mean, I just have to be kind of close, you know. If
Yeah,
we're gonna fucking
I
murder
know,
these
but
losers.
like, you know, we're underground. It's gonna be pretty cramped.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. I'm used to being underground and cramped and uncomfortable and everything hurting. Don't worry.
All right.
Cool.
Is
As-
that a thing we're able to do, DM?
Yeah, definitely with the space on it. Just kind of Verm in the back end getting dirt occasionally kicked in his face as as Kroll is kind of digging, and Luk'k is sat with him, kind of like on his special saddle with his armor.
I'm gonna have Rock wait until we come out, and then he can do his thing.
Yeah, and
Because
his
he's not gonna be able to go in
Yep.
with us.
and as you're digging down below, you guys up above can hear kind of a rattling as the kind of group of bandits returning are just like whooping and still cheering, and just like, yeah, the day is won. We get to get drunk and fucking have a time. You see from the ridge line, you guys, both Handy and Emery Hawkins, watch this kind of blue serpentine form kind of lift up, and he's not had a good night.
my
And
man,
it
he's
starts to
already.
The man's down bad.
Yeah.
It starts to lift up as the whooping and crying gets really loud, and you see this creature kind of rise up, and it looks like a serpent with multiple arms. It's just pulling itself up further and further up, and you see it take a deep breath, and you hear like
Oh no.
you hear a cry
Oh,
out from
no.
the crowd of the scatter, and like you see one of the bandits is just a little bit too slow, and it exhales a bolt of fucking lightning that
Yeah.
streaks across
Oh,
the plane, and it strikes. One of the bandits dives down, directly struck in the chest, and you see them start getting their guns out as this very angry, and you can roll me nature checks. Those on the
I'd
surface.
love to.
Lizard,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I'm underground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very-
we're underground, right?
yeah,
We can't
yeah,
see
you
it.
guys don't see it, but you can hear like the crackling noises. But you know, maybe that's normal. But those on the surface, so Handy and Father Emery Hawkins can roll me nature checks.
Oh, goody, oh boy.
Oh no.
Portal, you're not gonna let me tame a Behir too, are you?
You'd have to calm it down after you've made it horny and denied it its happiness. You catfished a Behir. What
With
do you
a
think?
shot.
What did you
Yeah, man.
think was gonna happen?
You can't do that.
It's so funny because like I was contemplating last night like firing a thunder round off like way into the distance just to make a fucking like thunderclap from like super far away.
Yeah, bro, you left the bay here unseen, man. Like, that's
angry.
that's a rookie mistake.
Handy, you have not seen a beast like this before, but it reminds you of the stories of dragons and their wyvern kin. Father Emery Hawkins, same thing. It's like you've heard tales and stories of massive beasts that can shoot elements from their maws. Most of them call them wyverns or dragons or dragon kin, and this is very clearly one of them, and it is angry.
That's
And
a strange way of spelling horny.
the best way to describe
Hard.
it's more like he didn't sleep last night. He was waiting for a text. He's dozing off, and then he hears these fucking noisy motherfuckers walking up, and is like, "Shut up! Get off my lawn!"
Yeah, rip this guy.
Rip
He
that
cannot
guy.
get a break.
He just doesn't catch a break. And unfortunately, as the lightning kind of crackles and the Behir takes to the field, and you guys down below start to hear the rumbling and the crackling, and you realize this is going to be a little bit of a chaotic, hectic brawl.
Right.
With all sorts of fun angles for it, and that's where this week we're going to be calling it.
Come on, man.
Not next week. You'll get to
I
fight
wanna fight
Behir,
it.
Behir, Bandits, and maybe something else. Who knows what awaits? But unfortunately, we're gonna
God
have to cut it a
damn
bit
it.
short this week. But thank you all for playing.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
man.